Today, my guest is Nma Emeh. And in this episode, we discuss about different things of how she became this motivational speaker, now talking about different things on body image issues, helping women, young girls in these issues about body image. So let me tell you some things about Nma Emeh. Nma Emeh is a highly respected motivational speaker dedicated to empowering women leaders to embrace their body image and cultivate a more positive self-perception. During her 15 plus years of experience in corporate leadership roles at Fortune 500 companies, Nma encountered countless women, including herself, who struggled with their body image. This experience inspired her to embark on a mission to develop a practical and effective approach to help women leaders overcome body image challenges so that they can advance in their careers, earn their true worth, and bridge the gender equality gap with confidence. Nma is a graduate of the University of California, Davis, and holds an MBA. She has also earned certificates in financial markets from Yale University and women entrepreneurship from Cornell University. Nma is the founder and CEO of E&E Consulting Group, an image consulting solutions firm. She is happily married and a mom of 3 wonderful kids. Let's meet Nma. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Gaby U show. Today, I have an amazing guest, Nma Emeh. Welcome, Nma.
Thank you so much, Gaby. I'm excited to be a part of your show. Thank you for inviting me on. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, thank you for taking your time today. Yes, so we are going to get started with my lovely Gaby U icebreaker question, one in town. So the first thing I want to ask you is, what is your favorite food?
Oh, wow. My favorite food. First of all, I love food. I have an ongoing um, love relationship with food. So that's kind of hard. I love Well, I'm Nigerian, so my favorite Nigerian food is I love the whole small chops idea. Whoever came up
Yes.
with that idea it's brilliant because everything that encompasses the idea of small chops just resonates with me. Is it the puff puff, the meat pie,
Yes.
the sausage roll? So yeah,
Uh-huh.
definitely love small chops. Now, outside of Nigeria, I love Thai food. I
Okay.
absolutely love everything about Thai food. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's my favorite.
I think a lot of Nigerians love Thai food because I think the flavors is very close to our
Mhm.
flavors too.
Yeah.
Spices has different
Mhm.
kind of spices, and all that with, hot spicy.
Exactly. It has a lot of rich flavors.
Mm-hmm.
To your point, yeah, it's very
Yes.
spicy. But what I also like, as opposed to some other Asian food, is it's not as greasy. You know,
Yes.
you can
Mm-hmm.
actually have a healthy Thai
Thai
food
food.
meal.
Yes.
Yes. So that's
So some
that's
of
why
you
I
that
like
didn't
it.
know that, okay, not all the foods are equal, because people
Mm-hmm.
just classify, maybe say
Oh, this is
Chinese, Thailand, they are different. Okay,
very
so
different. Yes.
maybe if you want a less oily one,
Yes,
you
yes.
can go for
Less
Thai.
oil, less
Um,
oil, lots of flavor,
yeah,
Thai.
yeah, probably in America, they've kind of modernized the food. I believe some of the oily Asian foods, I'm sure maybe it's not really like that in the original country. So maybe in
Mhm.
here, maybe they put a little more oil than they should.
Mhm. You know what?
So,
You're right. Actually,
mm-hmm,
when I lived in San Francisco, one of my closest friends was from China, and
mm-hmm,
she had me over for dinner with her family. And the traditional Chinese food is actually very bland. I was
mm,
surprised to hear that, to taste it and realize that, wait, where's all the oil and where's the fried rice and everything?
yeah,
It's actually
MSG.
bland. And yeah, no MSG. It was a lot of like plain fish, lots of vegetables, nice
Yes.
clear broth. So that's what.
Mm-hmm,
So to your point,
mm-hmm.
their traditional dishes are actually a lot healthier than what they
Yes.
serve in the restaurants.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And talking about the small chops is interesting. You say that like when we go, my kids always joke about it. They'll be like, when we go to parties, Nigerian parties, and they say small chops, they'll say, this small chops is already filled our stomach.
Yes, yes. I mean, that's the good thing. I mean, anyone can find something with the small chops, whether it's the
Yes.
chin chin, the puff puff. There
Yeah.
has to be something that you like. So, like I
Yeah.
said, whoever came up with the idea of small chops, man, that was
Yeah.
the best thing. That was a real
Yeah.
game
It's just
changer.
that small chops so that can be a full meal. I remember we went for this was not even a marriage, it was a book signing event.
Mhm.
And the person is Nigerian and they were, we do the book signing stuff and it's like, okay, we have small chops for you guys. And we did all the small chops, a lot of small chops, and we thought that was it. And before we
Mhm.
know, we had the rice coming again. I'm like, oh, my
Mhm.
husband was like,
Mhm.
wow, I didn't know there would be rice and more meat. It's like I shouldn't have eaten too much of this one. Now we don't have space in the house. So
Yeah, I know. They always get you with the small chops.
so yeah, but they're pretty delicious. Yeah.
Mhm.
Awesome. Well, so the next thing I want to ask you is what is your favorite quote? I believe a lot of us we hang on some of all these quotes. We got some favorite ones that, just keep us going, keep us motivated. So which one would you say is your favorite?
Well, I love the Bible passage. First of
Mm-hmm.
all, I'm a believer. I love the Lord.
Yes.
And so
Me
my
too.
favorite Bible passage is from Psalm 139, verse 14, where it says, I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul should know very well. And the reason
Mm,
I love that passage is because for much of my life, I didn't believe that I was fearfully and wonderfully made, like the Word of God
yes.
says. And so when I stumbled on that verse, or the first time I heard that verse, and it really resonated with me that yes, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And my
Yes.
heart, my whole being really needs to understand and own that. And so yeah, that verse has become my
Mm,
go-to verse, my mantra, how I look at myself every morning and what I tell myself, my word of affirmation, I should
yes.
say. So yeah.
Yeah. I love that verse. I actually know a song about it. As you're saying, I was like, oh yes, there's a song. I don't know the full song. I'm not gonna be singing it now. But I
Oh,
love
come on, sing.
I am
I'm sure the
fearfully, I am fearfully made. I am wonderfully fashioned. I belong to God. He belongs to me.
oh,
There's some words. I can't remember the rest.
oh, that's nice. That's nice. So I
Yeah.
take it you learned it back home.
And yeah, it
Mhm,
was a song we said, oh, it's yeah, it was yes, you're just saying the words. I'm just like, oh my,
mhm,
and yeah, I used to, I that's another story of myself. I got into all this singing. I thought I would not be in the medical profession. I was gonna be all
mhm.
acting and singing and all that stuff. So that's so I
Okay,
love
now that's the
I
story I
love
want to hear.
yes, I love songs. It's one of those things that is very therapeutic to me, singing it,
Yeah.
listening to it. So yeah.
Yes, yes,
Sometimes
yes,
all
yes.
these verses too as well,
Mhm,
you found them in many songs and just
mhm,
some other songs too, you hear all these words and stuff that
mhm,
just, it just keeps you going like, yes, I can do this. So
mhm.
yeah, I love that verse. So I hope you guys are all listening and making notes. I've always tell my listeners that you guys should be taking notes about all this stuff. You
Oh,
know, if you
yes,
have
yes,
your
yes.
favorite quote, you can add this. This is a good one to add.
Psalm 139, verse 14.
Yes. All right. So the next thing I want us to go into is I want you to share with me what you believe has shaped you to be this woman you are today. Just share all you can, like is it from your career, your childhood, whatever you can, kind of, believe that you're here
Yeah. Oh,
today.
oh my goodness. Okay, so that is a heavy
Ye-
one. I think for
Yeah.
me, I think just living life.
Hmm.
Life itself has just had a way of shaping who I am today. And I know it kind of sounds almost, cliche, but if I look at the first 10 years of my life, I think about just how easy life seemed. I was very jovial, very playful. I talked a lot. My mouth always got me in trouble for one thing or the other. I was very vain as well. Oftentimes you would find me in front of a mirror staring at myself or doing something to my hair while other kids were outside playing. And then I think the next 10 years, from about 10 years old to about 20, there was a huge shift for me because there was a huge shift and changes. So there were the physical changes as you go into those puberty years, and the hormones are all over the place,
Hmm.
and as my body changed and morphed into what it was, I started to also see how people reactions to me changed as well. And
Hmm.
that's when I really started to see or develop a different perspective on life. Those innocent first 10 years were clearly over. And now it was like, okay, what is going on?
Hmm.
Why is my body always a topic of discussion? Or why do people look at me or define me or have something to say about the way I look? What is it about my appearance that continues to be a topic of discussion? And that started to shape the way I viewed myself and the way and the lens with which I viewed the rest of the world. And yeah, granted, yes, I was on the vain side, but then as you get older and you listen to society and people start to tell you a different narrative of yourself, then it starts to impact who you are,
Hmm.
if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And so that was from 10 to my 20s, and then in my 20s and 30s, it was okay. Now that I I I am who I am, what do I do? How do I embrace this? And I was still trying to discover just who is Nma and what does Nma want in life. And I was still letting others tell me, speak into my life who I should be. And it wasn't until I would say the pandemic that, I had my aha moment, my own wake
Hmm.
up call where I was just like, you know what? I'm tired of letting other people define me for who I am. I'm tired of having to fit a very narrow narrative or a very narrow standard that the world expects of us women.
Yes.
Why should I be forced to fit into that box, into that standard that to me was unrealistic? And so from then on, I just said to myself, I want to live my life unapologetically. I should only have to answer to an audience of one, which is God in my own perspective. And
Hmm.
so that's why that verse really resonated with me, because for much of my life, I really didn't appreciate the body that God had given me. And I say that because growing up in my family, I look very different from my sisters. My sisters are, 6 feet and above, tall, model-esque, slim, and I was born 5'9", more voluptuous than my siblings, and for a while I even wondered, am I even adopted? Was I? Am I? I don't fit in. And then growing up in Nigeria, people will tell you the
Oh,
truth.
oh yeah.
Oh my goodness, whether you want to hear it or not, you will hear the truth.
Yeah.
Everybody, how come so
Unsolicited advice.
unsolicited advice, unsolicited comments, And I mean, and they were good. Some of them were good, but some of
Mm-hmm.
them, they really cut to the
Really
core,
harsh. Mm-hmm.
really harsh. And of course, being human beings, that one bad comment can wipe away the thousand good comments of feedback
Yes.
that people gave you. And of course, that's what I did. I held on to more to the negative feedback and comments that people made about my body as opposed to the positive. And that started to affect the way I perceived myself until, like I said, I had my aha moment during the pandemic. And I'm just like, no, I'm not going to let anybody else define who I am. God has said who I am, and I am going to embrace who I am. And that's going to be my narrative that by which I live and I lived by.
Mm. What is so powerful? Wow. I
Yeah.
mean, it's this body image thing. It's a lot of things. A lot of women we are plagued with. I mean, it happens to males too.
Men. Yeah, men.
But I don't know if we are women. And I think it's we. I think women we are more so much hard on ourselves.
Yes,
With that.
absolutely. I mean, it's not,
Mm,
no, statistically,
yeah.
women, well, according to studies that have been done on the US
Mm,
population, I'll just speak for the US population,
yes.
is like nine, almost 9 out of 10 women in the United States over the age of 18 are dissatisfied with their body.
Wow.
So of every 10 women you see, 9 of them, so only one person is confident. And I
That
wonder about
is.
that one person.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So
That is
that's staggering.
that's very
Yes.
high number,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
now as you are saying it, as somebody that has been in the health field of, help people with weight loss,
Mhm.
um, you know, different areas I have worked with different type of weight loss programs and all that, I mean, personally, I have gone through that myself. I'm going through that right now since after a baby. And and I could just see that because there are sometimes I know when I work in some clinics
Mhm.
where we're talking of someone wanting to lose weight,
Yeah.
the expectation they want, like some I've hear some people say, "Oh, maybe they'll even show me a picture, like, this is how I used to be when I was in college. When I'm like, I want to see if I want to be like this now." I'm like, okay, and it's one of those things like he was like,
Yeah.
why is this numbers are so high,
Well,
and
you have to look at it.
mm,
You ask a very good question. Why are the
yeah,
numbers so high? And
mm-hmm,
let's dissect that for a little bit. Well, if you look at social media, in fact, all forms of media, whether it's social media, whether it's print media, what does media tell us? Oh, you have to look a certain way. If you don't
yes,
look like this figure eight, or
mm,
this slim body, then you're not beautiful or you're less than.
yeah,
So it's what the world is dictating to us, and that's what we begin to use to define ourselves, define our rhetoric, define our
mm,
our people, define our daughters. Oh my goodness.
yes,
Those
mm.
numbers that I gave you, those statistics are actually worse with our younger girls.
Oh yes,
And it's
absolutely.
starting at an earlier and earlier age.
Mm-hmm.
So and it's disheartening that you have 10-year-olds who are looking at themselves in the mirror and seeing aspects of their body that they just hate,
It's
not even dislike, they just
yeah,
hate,
hate. It's
you
like
know.
you're just 10. What are you
You're
bothering
just 10,
yourself?
exactly. So it's those type of feelings and negativity that
Mm,
really got me fueled to stand up and make a change and start and do what I do today, which is
yes.
working primarily with women leaders to make sure they adopt a more positive perception of themselves. Because
Mm,
when I was a leader in corporate, I was one of those people who used fashion to camouflage my insecurities. I knew how
mm,
to hide those parts of my body that I
yes.
wasn't confident about and
Mm-hmm.
all of that. But deep down, I hadn't dealt with the insecurities that were making me feel that way. And
Yes.
so, what I do is basically coaching women to develop a more positive perception of themselves. Don't focus so much on your appearance, but focus on your achievements. What
Yes.
where you're going and who you
Mm-hmm.
truly are, what you bring to the table, your knowledge base. And
That's
once
right.
you develop that and you're solid in that, then the rest of you just displays, the confidence and the beauty.
That's
So
right.
it's, yep.
I mean,
So
that
that,
is because you can have somebody with all the most perfect figure. So if there
mhm,
is that, but you are not very nice person.
exactly,
Yeah,
kind of shallow. Exactly. Yeah, it's
you
very
know,
true. It's very
it's
true.
like, okay, what is the deal? Of course, we want to take care of our bodies, like in the Bible, you say your body is the temple of God. You want to take care of your body, do that. But again, there's just this, it's going over level, like, seeing, which is where we have a lot of these eating disorders, like people seeing
Exactly.
themselves in a different form, like, okay. And this is one of the things, as somebody, like I said, is in this weight loss industry. I mean, I advocate for people that if they to be more healthy and being a healthcare provider, like, yes, you got to lose some weight, you got to do this to be healthy, but at the same time, it's looking at the whole level of where are some of all these things coming from.
Mhm.
It's talking about holistic living, holistic health,
Yeah.
your mental, your emotional, your spiritual,
Mhm.
not just that physical, and making reasonable goals. Because
Mhm.
like I said, you hear some people of like what they want to lose, and another thing too, I would say that skinny don't mean mean healthy.
Yeah, that is so true. Skinny does not necessarily equate to
Mm-hmm.
healthy. Fat does not
Is
necessarily
it?
equate to unhealthy, you know.
Yes. Because
So,
I've
and
had some people that you will
mhm.
see that they have the thing of overweight. Like, for example, someone like me, I'm still trying to get my body together with after having a baby.
Oh,
Of course, I'm overweight. If we look at the BMI, it's okay, overweight. But if you check my numbers for my labs, I'm pretty healthy. I don't have high cholesterol. I don't deal with blood pressure. I don't,
You know
but
what?
you
You
can
raise a
have,
good point.
yeah.
You
Mm-hmm.
talk about the BMI. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I have to ask, okay, when those BMI standards, what were they based on? You have to understand that the
Yeah.
way the body of an African woman develops is very different from the
Mm-hmm.
way the body of our European counterparts develop. And
Yes.
that's just science, that's just clinical
Yeah.
clinical truth. So
Mm-hmm.
we developed a lot faster, and so some of this stuff the units that they use to measure, like the
Yes.
BMI of an average Nigerian boy is going to be a lot higher because
Mm-hmm.
they just have heavy bones,
Yes.
solid. So you can't compare that to the BMI of other, cultures, whether it's Asian culture
Oh,
or European culture. So that's part of the problem. We're using
yes.
one standard to measure everybody, and that's
Yes.
just not right.
And I
And then
think and the community, excuse me, the health community is beginning to see
mhm,
that. And it's just
yes,
now, as a healthcare provider, it can be like an idea, but we don't
mhm,
base it on that. And that's why we have other ways to determine, like, okay, if this person is really healthy, and all that stuff.
mhm,
So,
exactly. Yep, yep,
yeah.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
And there was something else that you mentioned. Oh yeah, well, I wanted to mention to you to just clarify some of the misconceptions that people have
Mm-hmm.
about body image is that it has to do with weight. Now, what I also teach people and educate people on is that body image is not just about how much you weigh or whether you're fat or you're thin. It's just being dissatisfied with any aspect
Aspects.
of your physical appearance.
Exactly.
You have people that don't like the way their nose is shaped.
That's right.
That's a
Mm-hmm.
negative body image. You have
Mm-hmm.
people who say, I don't like my hair. My hair is too curly, or my hair is
Mm-hmm.
too straight. My
Too
hair is too
kinky,
thin,
too
too
straight.
kinky, all that. So just
Yeah.
having any type of dissatisfaction with your physical appearance, with your body,
Yes.
that's what we refer to as a
Mm.
negative body image. So yeah,
Yes.
it's not just about, your weight. It's much more
Yes.
than that.
That's
Um,
right.
and then, yeah, another thing you mentioned that, eating disorders. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
if a negative body image goes for unchecked for an extended period of time, yes, it can lead to several social and mental health disorders, like,
Yes.
anxiety, depression, the eating disorders, like body dysmorphia, which I'm sure you've
Yes.
heard about. And so those are the things that we want to make sure that we keep in check as we are working on our body image and our perception of ourselves. So it's really important to watch your mind, watch what you're telling yourself about your body,
Yes.
because it all starts in the mind. Watch what people are telling you or feeding you about who you are and how you look. Otherwise, it starts to affect us. And then before you know it, you're doing those negative things that would lead to
Yes.
the social and mental health disorders. So
Yeah. And that's when, as you're just saying that, it's just one of those things too, as because this might show it's of course a lot of women listening to this, a lot of mothers, and I just how we talk to things with our children, like your story, some of all these things that people would have said, some of them they mean well, some of them just say it and they don't even realize what they're saying. That's why I have to be careful.
exactly.
And even not going beyond saying if you're a mom, even just to your friends or anybody, but again, I'm talking about mom or because if you have a friend, you might be careful not want to say something, but sometimes when we are very close to somebody, family, we just say stuff. Oh, wow, look at your nose. Is this it seems like you took your uncle big nose,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
look at
Yeah,
your
it's
your
true.
your your ears. Oh, you took that ears from your grandfather or something like.
Mhm.
Oh, and you say that to kids, and they grow up and they will start kind of this silly
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, they become so self-conscious about that thing, and
Yes.
and yeah, exactly. And,
Mm-hmm.
and most of the time, this body image issues start from what we were told in our childhood, in our
Yes.
formative years, especially those puberty years. One wants to be very careful what
Mm-hmm.
you say to them, because that's when they're just getting to embrace themselves, not just, physically, but, mentally, emotionally.
Yes.
So we want to encourage them, empower them, give them, positive affirmations, as they
Yeah.
develop, especially in those puberty years
Oh
where their
yeah.
hormones are just all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah. And especially in this time and age, the children are really very sensitive. And
Yes.
I mean, for us growing up, we've had some lot of stuff talk to us, and you are just like, But there are some things I know, with my kids growing up, and yeah, as different stuff. When grandparents come to visit, there are some things my mom will tell me, I mean, she means well, but she just say it like, when I have a baby, it's like, oh, you get so much weight. How would you lose all this weight? Oh, it will be a long time. She says, I mean, but you say that to the children, like, I think you are eating too much, eating too much of these American burgers, you get too fat. Like, don't say that. I try to be like, like, hey, these generations, they are, we have to really be careful. And it's just the way the world is. So many things are happening, and all this stuff is, the mental issues are increased as compared to when we were growing up. There's so many things in their whole environment, and
Yeah.
which makes the children, they are really very sensitive as compared to we are still have this sensitivity, but I think theirs is just a little higher, so
Yeah, I mean, you think about, well, yeah, that's true.
mm, mm,
It is a lot higher than, they're more sensitive than when we were growing up. But you
mm,
think about the world that they're growing up in. Everything about them is questionable.
yes,
Everything, their identity is being questioned and challenged. Their beliefs being questioned and challenged.
mm,
Um, uh, just it's so much for them. Even their security, is
yeah,
being challenged and questioned. And I think with COVID and everything that happened, none of
That
us
is
in our generation had seen such
any
you know,
pandemic stuff.
any pandemic stuff. So it was a big change. And then for them being
So
so
new.
young,
Mm-hmm.
exactly, for them being so young, I mean that's going to be etched in their mind for years to come.
Yes.
So I can understand why some of them are so hyper vigilant and hypersensitive and
Mm-hmm.
hyper everything. Their generation's kind of seen a lot, so
Mm-hmm.
just pray that they will heal from it soon and be able to move on with normal
Yeah,
healthy
and give them those resources. We have to
and the
use all those
resources. Yes,
resources. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because this world we are in now, it's just so different, and
Hmm.
so many things. I know I've shared this before, but I've had one time when I had a patient in my clinic. I think he was 19 or 20, and he's smoking. And I was just telling him, why he should stop smoking, what it can cause, all that. And he was like, well, my grandma, she's in her 90s and she smokes, she drinks vodka, and she's strong as a horse. Like she's so healthy too. I'm like, I'm sorry to break the news to you, but you might not be the lucky like your grandma.
Yeah. For every one that survived, I'm sure there were 10 others that didn't because, of
Yeah.
the cigarette and tobacco. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, the world she was before, there were probably less pollutants and all this
Hmm.
stuff, and compared to, you know, you don't want to do that, but so the world is just changed over the
Yeah,
years, and we
exactly.
just pray for ourselves, pray for our children, so we can guide them in this right paths and help them as much as we can.
Hmm.
Yeah. So what
Right.
would you say you are most proud as a woman today? I know you're probably proud of a lot of things. So what would you say you are most proud of as a woman today?
Wow. Let me see. What am I most proud of? I think, in all honesty, I am proud that I have found my voice. I'm sure there are many people who are 6 feet under today
Mm,
that lived their life but never found their voice.
mm,
And so just being able to find my voice, being able to use it to empower other women, empower young girls, even
yes.
even young kids. Let me just say young kids. I think I wouldn't say I'm proud, but I would say I'm blessed.
Yes.
I'm blessed to be able to just have that opportunity. So, and I
Mm,
enjoy it.
mm,
It's hard work. It's long hours. But I know that just knowing that I am being able to, or I have the opportunity to impact somebody's life, for the better, and 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 if possible for life and eternity, I think that's that's worth living for.
yeah, it's awesome.
There were
Yes.
days that I lived because I had to work. I had to go into the office, get work done, make the rich richer, and all of that. And I would come home, and even though it paid really well, I would can't come home, but still feel that emptiness. Like I just haven't achieved anything. I haven't impacted anybody's life.
That's right.
So, but
Mm,
right now, I may not have the gazillions, but just knowing that I've been able to impact somebody's life or being able to empower them to see themselves in a more positive perspective or see themselves the way the Lord sees them, then that's enough
yes.
for me.
That
Yeah.
is such a great thing. And talking about your work, I don't know if it's something that maybe we were talking offline on this about work burnouts that, I don't know if it was you. I just felt it was you were talking about, maybe somebody else, or maybe I talked about it here in the show.
Mhm.
But work burnout is not only sometimes we thinking that we are doing too much, but also is when you are not doing those things that you're passionate about, that
Yes.
your
Yeah.
purpose,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
sometimes that's another thing that can cause work burnout. We're not doing enough
Exactly.
of what
Yeah.
we love to do, what we're passionate about. So, and you doing this now, it's amazing, and it's definitely something that to feel blessed to be able to do it. It's kind of aligns with mine too, because that was one thing I had said probably in my early episode when I started, that, I'm proud of myself, that I'm not hiding my gifts under the rock. I'm using all the skills.
Good, good.
I'm a multi-passionate person, and people always ask me, what do you really do? I'm like, what do I do? And just blessed that I could do a lot of that too, and I know at the time I was little struggling with, and maybe still a little bit there, struggle like, why I do all this stuff, God, why you let me do all this thing? How come there's these people that just do one thing and they stay on it? But something, but it's I'm looking at this is a blessing, it's an opportunity that God has given me, has given you to do this stuff, and we'll just continue striving to be better each day.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When God gives you that platform to do what He's
Mm-hmm.
called you to do, you better sit, take hold of that platform, own it,
Yes.
use it, you know.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's right.
good.
Yeah. So what are some of the encouraging words do you want to just give, like put it in a tight in a bowl, or how do they say it before we round this episode? Just package it,
Well,
cute package here.
well, let me see. What would I say? So my
Mhm.
feedback to every woman, to every young girl, to every person still trying to discover themselves. First of all, understand who God says you are. And once you find out who God says you are, let that be the narrative by which you live your life and nothing else.
Mm,
That's it.
that is amazing. Discovering your purpose.
Discovering your purpose.
Yes, because
These
this is what
eyes.
it's a something a lot of people struggle. Some people, I know, I've heard some statement of some people say, "Oh, I don't have a purpose." I'm like, no, 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 no. You are still living and breathing. God has a reason why He has you here.
Of
You
course.
haven't found it, and it's. And I always will bring this up, pretty much in all my episodes about discovering your purpose. And sometimes we know the purpose, but we are scared to try it out.
Yeah, exactly. You just have to take that leap. It may not
Mm-hmm.
be pretty, it may be
Yes.
rough at times, but as long
Mm-hmm.
as you've gotten clarity that this is what you're supposed to do, you just
Mm-hmm.
keep picking at it each and every day.
And
One day you're going
refining
to
it.
wake up, yes,
Mm-hmm.
refining it. One day you're going to wake up and you're going to realize, wow, be able to look back and say, wow, look at the impact that I've been able to make in
Yes.
all these people's lives, or
Mm-hmm.
impact I've been able to make for the future something. And I'm sure the big ladies and leaders of our world will they started small. Everybody started
Yes.
small
You
from
got to start
somewhere.
somewhere. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the consistency that has gotten them to where they are today,
Yes.
you know?
Yep. You will have to turn your lemons into lemonade, changing your pain into the message. Yes, I
Yeah.
have to say that word, changing your lemons to lemonade. It has come to this place. Each episode, I have to find that time, which is a lot of what, women sharing the stories. You come in here and other guests is, you know, sharing the stories of how all of these things are supposed to be like a cause a problem and hang on for your hanging on your life, but changing those narratives and using them for something better, you know. So yep,
Yeah, it's true.
everybody,
I mean,
yeah.
it's true. This is my perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I didn't always have this perspective, I'll be honest, but I believe that everything that happens to us in life, we have the opportunity to decide whether we want it to be a gift or or a curse,
Yes.
per se. So I choose to find a way to turn every engagement, every interaction,
Yes.
everything about that has happened in my life. I look for ways to turn it into a gift and an opportunity that I can
Yes.
use to bless someone or give back to the world, give back to our
Yes.
generation. So again, like I say on my in my I write a lot on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say on in my writing, God has given me this body for a long time I didn't appreciate it. I
Mm,
wanted to change it. I wanted it to look different. But since the pandemic, I've said to myself, I'm gonna keep the same body, but just change my perspective.
that's right.
So same body, new perspective.
That's it. You ask one buddy you have. Can't go to
Yes, yes.
Walmart or any store to go get a new one.
No,
Get
no,
a
no, you cannot.
Yeah, that is
Awesome.
a lot of big stuff on, yeah, you just say my language, that mindset. Mindset is everything. It can
It's
change
everything.
so much in, when you change that your mindset. Yes.
Mhm, mhm.
Wow. Amazing. So how can people reach out to you? What are the ways they can connect with you and all that? Can you share that with us?
So, yeah, so you can find me on my website, nmaemeh.com.
Mm,
I'm on all the social medias, even though I prefer some over others.
of
So
course.
I hang out on LinkedIn a lot. So that's why I
Hmm.
write a lot about body
Mm,
image content. I give tips about how to improve have a more positive perception of yourself. So you can find a lot of my detailed writing on LinkedIn. And I'm also on Instagram and Facebook, same Nma Emeh on all those social medias, Nma Emeh.
okay.
And then my website, nmaemeh.com. I'm also, since
Yes.
Mother's Day is around the corner, I
Yeah.
am running a special on my website. So between now and May 31st, if you
Okay.
buy anything from my merch over $100, you get 15% off. And just so people know, I sell those merch because I use a portion of those proceeds to provide essential hygiene items to children back in West Africa. So
Okay, that is awesome.
for everything you purchase, you're giving 15% of that proceed back to
Okay.
some child who needs a toothbrush, who needs sanitary pads, who needs slippers. So
Okay, that
please
is
go ahead.
awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. And any other projects you're working on at this time?
Oh, I forgot also for
Mm, mm,
my service
mm,
package, it's $100 off any of
mm.
my service packages till May 31st. Yes.
Okay.
Now, in
Okay.
terms of projects, I do have a busy schedule coming up. So I have a couple of shows that I'm lined up to be on LinkedIn and a couple of other places. And
Mm.
then on the 20th, I'll be doing I'll be at a road show outdoor, like in-person thing. So that should be
Oh,
interesting. I'm gonna
okay.
set up a tent literally.
Oh, wow. That's really a
Yeah,
roadshow, yeah.
a real road show. So I
Okay.
haven't done anything like that before, but I stumbled on it and I decided to go ahead and do it. It's gonna be in our local neighborhood. So I'm looking
Okay.
forward to it. A number of small businesses will have
Mm.
been invited to do it. So I'm going to do that. And then
Okay.
yeah, that's
And
it.
that will be in where are you doing that roadshow? Is it which
So it's
location?
so I live in the suburbs of Philly, and so they're
Okay.
going to have it all over the different suburbs of Philly.
Okay.
All the counties are doing it at different days.
Mm.
I'm just gonna do mine May 20th.
So you're gonna be
Um,
talking? Are you gonna
I
be
will be
doing?
marketing myself, honey. I
Oh,
will be
okay.
telling people basically telling people what I do, talking
Okay.
about some of the stuff that I've produced, selling my merch and all of
Okay.
that. So yeah,
Oh,
and so it'll
okay.
be fun. It'll be fun. There'll be other
And
businesses there, of course, but I'm
yes,
looking forward to just
that
networking.
should be fun. Looks like
Yeah,
that.
just any opportunity to go out and meet new people. I thought this would be a
Yes.
great opportunity, meet other
Mm.
business people, and then I have my own tent and set up that
Yes.
people will stop by. So I'm looking forward to it. Yes.
Okay. So if you guys are in Philly area, check it out. And
Check it
what dates
out.
did you say is gonna be happening again?
So I will be
Mm.
at the Montgomery County one, which will
Mm.
be on May 20th.
Okay.
And I think it's called the Montgomery County Small Business Fair. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Montgomery County Small Business Fair. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if this episode will be out this.
Oh yeah, that's okay.
But
But
I
you
think
can
the
find
one for
my
the
at my website.
yes, so we can, but at least, people, if anybody wants something locally in the Philly area, they can always contact you. And I know you are all over the place, so you can travel and do
Oh yeah,
virtual stuff. So
absolutely.
yeah. So
Yeah.
all this information here, I'm going to be putting it in the description area. So this episode is going to be on YouTube, on Apple, Spotify, all the place you can find, podcasts. It will be in the description area. You guys need to check it out, support, and these are things that's going to be really helpful. Like with her, so you guys to try to connect with her through those
Awesome.
places. Yes.
Thank you
Wow.
so much.
Yes, thank you so much for coming. Really enjoyed having you today.
Same
So,
here.
yes, so this comes to the end of this episode today of the Gaby U show. And I will end it with one of my favorite quotes from Maya Angelou that says, "When you know better, you do better." All right, people, see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.